What time is it? Podcast time. It's a celebration. What time is it? Podcast time. Hello and welcome to the It's Your Effin' Journey podcast. My name is Melissa Hemming, and if a life coach and a therapist had a baby, you get me. I realized that I don't think I sang the song last week with my episode with Heather, so I apologize. I'm sure you are like, can I even listen to this podcast if I don't hear the song? But I am excited. It's just me today, just moi. Summer, we might have a little bit more of that because I am a fucking slacker. And I mean that with all the kindness in my heart for myself. Summer it's just much nicer to take breaks from work, go into the pool, sort of be in I don't take a lot of time off, but I think sometimes you just want to fucking chill, or there's kids running around, there's dogs running around, there's so much going on. So I sort of wanted to bring it back to the basics today. I saw a reel the other day that just sort of got me thinking about this podcast and the beginning. And there has been so much podcast growth. And I just want to thank you all for being here, for sharing these episodes, for sharing them on your social media, for telling your friends about them, for telling me how much they've touched you. There is nothing more meaningful to me than making an impact and hopefully helping your mental health in some way. So this one's going to be real and raw. And again, back to the basics, because if you're new here, because there has been so much growth, I want you to all understand sort of why it's called It's Your Effin' Journey and sort of the evolvement of that. So the reason it's called It's Your Effin' Journey is because I was a Beachbody coach for, I don't know, 8 years, 6 years, 7 years, 8 years. I'm not sure how long. 2016 until it collapsed last year. So what is that? About 8 years. And I loved being a Beachbody coach. I loved helping people learn to feel confident and love their bodies and feel stronger through health and fitness and the community. The community was a huge piece that I loved. But what would happen in the Beachbody groups, if you're not familiar, is, we would often start programs together, workout programs together. And let's just say, I just started an 8-week program this week. So we'll use that as an example. This fucking program is 8 weeks and it's 7 workouts per week. Now I know better. I've been working out consistently for over a decade now. So I get that, will I be able to do 7 workouts every single week? No, because that would be perfection. And we don't do perfection around here. We do our fucking journeys. So when it comes to a workout program like this, that's 8 weeks long, 7 workouts a week. I'm not doing 7 workouts a week. My body needs rest. I know one of the days is active recovery. I still like to take rest days. You should also take rest days. Your body needs rest. Rest is normal and needed. So I know now that because this is my effing journey and I'm going to do it this way, there's no way I'm going to be done with this program in 8 weeks. It's probably going to take me 12 weeks, right? Who knows what will happen? I'll have races coming up, travel, it's summer. Maybe I'll say, fuck this. I don't feel like doing it this day. Or maybe my hamstring will hurt and I'll say, I don't feel like doing it this day. Maybe I'll feel like doing another workout because I have even more limited time. And that was sort of how It's Your Effin' Journey began, because even before this particular program of 7 days a week, maybe you took a vacation and you didn't have access to weights and your 6-week program became 8 weeks. Well, sometimes in our groups, that would be a mind fuck for people. And they would be like, I'm not following the calendar to a T like Amy is or like Laura is. And they would beat themselves up. Sometimes it would even keep them from progressing because they weren't on the same schedule as everyone else. And so it became this habitual thing that I would say, this is your effing journey. This is not my journey for you. Your journey is not Amy's journey. Amy's journey is not your journey. So you have to do the program and progress as you're going to progress and be okay with it. It's the same thing that I talk a lot about in therapy with clients in terms of getting married, having babies, buying a house. Everyone seems to think that there is this timeline, this imaginary timeline that we have to be on. And if you're not on it, if you're not growing on Instagram the same way as Sally, or, getting married by the time you're 30 and having 2.5 kids by the age of 35, you are not progressing the way you should be. I just got a phone call and I hope I didn't mess it up. My phone keeps ringing and I want to yell at someone. Okay. So hopefully you got all that I said. But so It's Your Effing Journey came about as a way to show people that, or not even to show people, but for people to embrace the journey that they are on. And I get that this is challenging. This is a challenge for me even today. I wanted to share this story about Instagram growth. I was watching a reel about something about growth on Instagram, and the growth that some people have is amazing, right? It's amazing. They open their Instagram account and they're like, "Oh my god, I'm already at, 5,000 followers." What? I've been on Instagram for years, and I am today, as of June 26th, 2025, I am 15 people away, 15 followers away from reaching 10K. 10K has been my goal, and I will tell you how long it's been my goal. It's been my goal since when you hit 10K, you could swipe up for links. That's how, I think the Instagram got rid of that 4 years ago. My goal has been 10K since those days. And it's just taken me this long. Sometimes that is a mind fuck for me. I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with me that I cannot get this account to grow to 10K? For a while, I was like, am I unable to grow it? I have to literally make new friends to grow this account. I don't gain new followers from new reels typically. I don't gain new followers from posts typically. If I don't intentionally make new friends on Instagram, I lose followers, especially when I run my mouth about politics or gay rights or weed, whatever I feel like talking about, I lose followers. So this is a thing. But is there a typical journey of getting to 10K? Maybe. So this morning I asked ChatGPT, I said, ChatGPT, how long does it take the average Instagram creator to reach 10K? And they said 6 months to 2 years, but everybody's different. And I was like, okay, well, and they were like, do you want a plan to get to 10K? You want me to map you out a plan? And I said, actually, no. I am 15 followers away from hitting 10K. And ChatGPT, in its wonderful cheerleader style, was like, holy shit, Melissa, what? This is something to celebrate. It doesn't matter how long it's taken you. This is your journey. And I don't know if ChatGPT would use that with anyone else, but they know It's Your Effing Journey is my thing, and you should celebrate this. This is consistency and your time and effort, finally coming to fruition. And I know it can be hard when you reach a goal and you're like, okay, well, I'm almost to this goal that I've had for so long, but it's taken me a decade. Why do we focus on how long it took versus shit, I'm almost to this goal that I had set for myself so long ago. So if you're in those, that messy timeline of beating yourself up about how long it's taken to get there versus just celebrating that you are there, growth can take a while. So celebrate where you've come and where you've come from versus how long it's taken you to get there, because this is all our effing journeys and we are all on our own timelines, and it takes, for me, I just feel like things take me a long time. And I've finally gotten to the point at 45 years old to say, I'm okay with that. I'm okay with how long it takes me to get to that place, because I do appreciate it. And I do appreciate all those opportunities for growth in the meantime. Sort of like the podcast, do other podcasts grow faster? I'm sure that they do. I'm sure that they do. I'm sure I am not the fastest building podcast. I know that I'm not. But when I look and I see a podcast episode go out on a Monday morning, and by 10 a.m. I have 8 downloads, I am blown away by that 8 people have already listened to the podcast by 10 a.m. Like, that blows my mind that 8 people have done that. So, I think it's all relative and it's all individualized and it's all our effing journeys. So the what really got me to want to talk about this today though was I saw a reel the other day, and I'm using it as I have like a fancy little setup here of stacked books, and the phone is leaning against body spray, so I can't show you. But The Let Them Theory by Mel Robbins. I read this book earlier in the year, really enjoyed it, recommend it to clients. And I saw a reel that was made by a therapist, and she was saying that she would burn The Let Them Theory if she could. She was saying that it's a terrible book for people who have lived with abusive and narcissistic parents, and just really a bad book. And I was really annoyed by this reel because I feel, and this is why I am so proud of the content that I put out there, because what I try my best to do is I want everyone to understand that there's so much noise in the world. There's so many opinions in the world. There's so much chatter about, when you think about like nutrition, I was talking to a client yesterday, how many different things you hear from influencers and professionals about what to eat, how to eat, this and that. There's so many different opinions, right? You hear, from mental health professionals about this and that and this and that. And what I try to do, what I try my hardest to do, is to let people know that there is no right or wrong way to do you. You have to figure out what makes you happy, what brings you joy, what calms you down, what helps you manage stress. It is not for any one person to determine what is right for your life. And the whole point of this podcast is to give you, I hope, that ability to say, okay, I saw this reel, I heard this person, I read this article. I'm going to take it with a grain of salt and I'm going to figure out what is best for me, because no one knows how my body works, how my mind works, what my life looks like. And I just want you to get so good. And so when I saw that reel about the Let Them Theory, I thought about all the people out there, myself included, who, if I was not good at navigating the noise and figuring things out for myself, I might see that and be like, oh, okay, well, I'm never going to read that book because this therapist said that this is not a good book to read. And I just think it's so negligent. I would have appreciated the reel or the information so much more if the therapist had been like, hey, here's this book. I don't love it because I treat people with narcissistic parents or families or history of that sort of abuse, and it doesn't help them. That I would have appreciated and understood, and good for you for getting the information out from a clinical perspective of people that you treat and work with. To get on the internet and say this book should be burned and is a terrible book is, to me, so negligent, because how do you know what someone needs? How do you know what could help or hurt someone? And that's what I fucking hate. So when I saw this reel and she's like, I'm going to burn this book, and people in the comments are like, well, I didn't get that feeling or takeaway from that book. I got the takeaway of, you're not pushing down your feelings and letting people take advantage of you. You are simply allowing them to be who you are and then deciding what you need to do, what's right for you. And so that was just so shocking to me. So I want you, if you're listening to this, to get really good at taking information and then, get information, gather information. And then the information that you're getting, if it's something that you're already doing, like if you're in the middle of reading the Let Them Theory and you see that reel, then you could say, okay, maybe let me do some research on this book, or just ignore it. If you're getting something from the book that you're reading, ignore it. This is just information that someone is putting out there. It doesn't have to pertain to you. And, I think that when it comes to figuring out what's right for us, it has to be blocking out that noise. I know even in conversations with friends, like hear somebody say this and this is what their experience has been, but or like schools. I remember like when my kids were in their elementary school, and people would be like, how was I heard this about the school, I heard that they do this badly, and I'm like, well, that has not been my experience. But you know you have to make your own choices and have your own experiences, and sometimes it really comes down to blocking out the noise. I have some clients who literally will call people for advice for everything, and I'm always like if there's someone that chronically does this and doesn't know how to have any self-awareness or ability to sort of work through their own life or own thoughts or what's right for them, I really encourage them. I'm like, don't call people for advice all the time. You have to get better at trusting yourself and figuring out what's right for you. If I called, like, I think about the people that I'm closest to, and if I called those people for advice, oh my God, I'm just thinking about my life yesterday, because I really felt that yesterday. I was struggling in navigating the separation. And I do like to have people that I can talk to, but when you do talk to people, there is a lot of noise too. And again, talking to people, you get people's opinions on things, which can be helpful, and it can be not helpful. Only I know what's right for me. And if they think they know something that's right for me, and I'm not ready to do it, or I don't feel like that might be right for me, it can be hard to be like, well, that's not the avenue that I want to take this. And maybe sometimes they are right, and you choose not to listen because maybe that doesn't feel right or aligned to you in the moment. And maybe they are right. Maybe they were always right all along, but you have to take your own time to figure out that. So if you are someone who tends to go to people for advice, what do you think you need? What do you, and I love having sounding boards, but I don't love it if you don't know yourself enough to know when to listen to yourself and when to tune the other people out. So that's just something to really pay attention to. I'm in this season, and going back to like sort of like the summer life is and the separation stuff. Separation, growing the business, summertime. My son doesn't have a job yet. My daughter is not in camp yet. And I love summer. I love summer so much, but I'm also, you know, I guess what I am trying to say is that you have to give yourself grace in whatever season that you're in. And this season that I'm in right now is sort of surviving. It's sort of survival mode. And as a business builder, that's a hard one for me because I want to do all the things, and I want to create all the programs, and I want to help people with their breakthroughs and figure out my next steps. And some days it's hard to even just do my workouts and the things that I know that help me be my best me. So right now, my goal is, and you have to reevaluate your goals maybe in different seasons of your life too. But, although I do want to grow my businesses and, do more group coaching with It's Your Effing Breakthrough, I really do want to develop the It's Your Effing Breakthrough Club. I sort of like, I'm looking at my pool right now, and I am sort of like trying just to stay afloat. And I want to share that because I know there's other people out there who are entrepreneurs or, developing businesses. And I want you to be able to also give yourself grace and respect the season that you're in. And sometimes it is about survival, especially when it comes to your mental health. But the one thing for me, and I've been talking about this on social media a lot, is this trifecta that's really helping me, which is strength training, paddle boarding, and running. That's my tri, and I love to do those things. They each have a different like purpose for me. The strength training is there to help me feel powerful. The paddleboarding is there to bring me peace. I love getting out on the water and just looking for the wildlife and just chilling out in the nature, in the water. It's just so amazing. And then the running, it really just makes me feel strong and quiets my mind. I can't do all of those three things every day, but I've been shooting for, as much as I can. And that has really taken the place of building my business because, who has time to do those activities every single day and work a job and support her family? I have had to give myself some grace and say, right now, that survival, that peace that the paddleboarding brings me, the quieting of the mind that running brings me, and the strength training that makes me feel powerful, those are so important that I'm going to sort of let go of the business building pieces right now and reevaluate those when I feel ready. And it's hard to do, especially for an Enneagram 3 who is like, well, you want to make more money, you need to make more money. But I also know that my mental health needs to be in a certain place where I can not just help the clients that I have on a daily basis in therapy, but also help my group coaching clients and have the energy to do all of these things. This separation is hard. It's really hard, and I'm not going to sugarcoat it any other way. I knew it would be a roller coaster, and it's hard. I just don't know any way to say it. And part of that part of that piece that I want to share too is that, taking care of your mental health, takes actual effort, right? It takes actual time and energy and effort. And another piece to my day is my miracle morning, which also is there. I consider that a piece of my mental health because that's where I do my journaling. That's where I do my gratitude. That's where I write what I'm proud of, what my goals are. I write out my affirmations. I do my tarot card and listen to the Daily Dose of Stars. And, that's where I get like sort of my mind right. But also, I need a therapist. And I know I've been talking about the one that I was working with when I was going through sort of the preliminary stages to my separation was good for that time period, but I really feel like I needed a change. So I did probably maybe 4 sessions with her, and she did help me a lot. But then I'm like, I really want another one. So yesterday, I was really proud of myself. I put all my new insurance information into Talkspace and I got reassigned a different therapist. We have our first session on Monday. So if there's anyone out there who needs a nudge or a gentle push to start therapy or to actually start working through some of the stuff that's going on in your brain, in your life, in your mental health. It's hard. It's hard to do. It's hard to be vulnerable and take those steps and really, work on yourself, but it's just so worth it and you deserve it. And I was talking to somebody yesterday who is in like just very negative cycles. And I know I've said this before, but I have to say it again. If you're not really working on them with a therapist, you're not really working on them. And I hear a lot of people say, like, I'm on a growth journey or I'm on a personal growth journey. But like, what does that mean to you? Because to me, that means all the things that I just mentioned, like being deliberate about finding your joy and choosing your joy. It means journaling. Journaling is so fucking powerful. So powerful. It means personal development reading so that like you can make sense out of the things that you're journaling and thinking and like just learning about the psyche, yourself, mindset. It means going to therapy or working with a coach to really challenge your thoughts and really like give you insight on how to be more self-aware and how to be more mindful. Personal growth and being on a personal growth journey is a lot of actual action. It's not posting a meme. It's not it's going to challenge you. And that's why a lot of people avoid therapy. I get it. I do it myself all the fucking time. I'm like, oh God, I really should go, but I need it. I need it just like anybody. So if you need that sort of nudge, there's the psychologytoday.com find a therapist tool. There is Talkspace. There's tons of other online options. Not all therapists are created equal. I know I share this a lot, but you'll find one that's a good fit for you. And sometimes you'll need to switch. Sometimes you'll need to change it up. Sometimes, you might work with someone like I did for 4 sessions and then you're like, I need something different. Maybe you work with someone for 5 years and you're like, I need something different. I would encourage you, if you've been with the same therapist for a long time, you might be in a rut. You may not be challenged anymore. So check in with yourself. Are you being challenged? I've talked to a lot of people recently who they know way too much about their therapist's life. Way too much. 2 people in the past week I talked to. One of them, like, she's like, oh, my therapist keeps rescheduling, or she can only do phone sessions for like 10 minutes. And I'm like, oh God. And then my friend's like, oh, well, it's because she has 5 kids and it's summer. And I'm like, you should never know that. You should never know that. The other one I talked to, I forget what she said, but she knew way too much about her therapist too. It was like, oh, I feel bad because my therapist so and so. Like, your therapist should never be like, I have 5 kids and I'm having trouble navigating, so this is why I have to keep rescheduling my sessions. First of all, it's unprofessional to keep rescheduling sessions. Secondly, it's unprofessional to be telling your client so that they feel bad about taking your time. Like, that's weird. So just with a grain of salt, know that a lot of people, even though they are in this role of therapist, and it's funny because, I'm going to finish that thought first. So even though they're in this role of therapist, doesn't mean they're the most professional. And remember that therapists are just people too. Having been in this field for a while, I see the kind of people that I'm around. And I've said this before, I would never want a therapist who is not out here fucking living her best life like I am, who is not challenging herself, growing herself, who is not taking the best care of her mental health, who doesn't know how to set boundaries, who doesn't know how to say no, who doesn't know how to protect her own time. Like, no, I have no interest in that. And there is a lot of therapists who don't know how to do that, or who don't do that, who don't walk the talk. Walk the talk. I think that's the right saying. So don't be afraid to change, and don't be afraid to be vulnerable, because that's the vulnerability is what's going to help you to move yourself forward and to be your best you. So I've got my first appointment with this new one on Monday, and I'm hopeful, but we'll see how I feel. And hopefully she's invested in, I don't even know what I'm trying to say, but hopefully it's good. And if it's not, I'll find another one. But hopefully this was helpful today. I always want to share about It's Your Effin' Journey and the background, and how it helps me even now to remember that this is only my journey. This is only my journey. It's no one else's to judge or to critique. And even if they do, that's their business and not mine. I hope that you learn to block out the noise and trust yourself, and also understand that as long as you're growing, you're actually growing, you're actually challenging yourself, you're actually saying yes to experiences and no to things that don't serve you, you are on the right path. You're on the right path. You're right where you are supposed to be. And even just being here and growing with me every week, hopefully is leading you to a place where you feel more confident in the decisions that you're making. I love when people tell me that when they're like, when they can feel better about whatever stage, whatever journey that they're on, because of this podcast. So thank you so much for being here. Please share it on your social media. Take a little screenshot of the episode and share it and tag me. Maybe that's the piece that I'm leaving out. Maybe people share it and they just don't tag me. I'm going to go with that. I'm going to go with that versus only like 2 people sharing it, because I know you're out there. So if you're out there, help a girl out. Screenshot it, put it in your stories, tag me. It's Melissa effing Hemming on Instagram. That's the full instructions. Have a great day, guys. Love you. Thank you for being here. Mwah.